How's it? Like a full-time job.
Yeah. Good thing neither of us are working.
Yeah. And then tell me what you have. So it's so funny.
How's it, everybody? And welcome to the Daily Pigeon. My name's Andy Bumatai.
And I'm James Money.
Yeah, and you're watching a television show that is edited out of a podcast, which is the reason it says podcast right there. Okay, so if every once in a while you see a comment jump up on the screen like this, right? Oop, let me do that again here. Boop. I was trying to get our name out of the way, but I guess I blew it. Okay, hold on. Let's take 3. 3 is the charm, right? I try to bring Garrett up here and it says, hi, everyone. That's where that comes from, the chat. And just so you know, the chat looks kind of like this. Okay, let me move my camera over so we can take, yeah, that's the chat right there. And here's Medium 7 Up. And he says, how's it from Boston, right? And Kulika, aloha gangi, how's it, mahalo. And then Devin, hey, namasen, zen. Aloha again. Thanks for spending time with us today. Thank you so much for joining us on the Daily Pigeon, no matter where you're from.
Yes.
And it's this show airs every day here in Hawaii, but if you want to be part of the live chat, it happens at
Every 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, and what's the word you use? Multi-blast.
we multi-blast to a number of different social media platforms.
About 8.
That's right. Well,
YouTube,
including
Twitch, Facebook,
LinkedIn, and in fact Twitter.
Twitter.
If you watch stuff live on Twitter, I don't know. I've never really done that. But anyway, that's what we do.
Yeah. And then when you're there, you can chat with us through the Hemajang Gang, and as long as you chat once, you are part of our Hemajang Gang.
That's what we call our chat, the Hemajang Gang. And we have, by the way, we do the first segment ourselves, James and I. But then after that, we're going to bring on a special guest, the owner, operator, chief cook, and bottle washer of Stand Up Honolulu. Pepper Lamb is our guest that will come join us in the second segment. Okay, you want to hang out for that. And did you see on the news that car that drove into the Running Room, a very popular running shoe store here in Hawaii?
I did not see it.
Okay, well, let's editorialize it. What do you say?
Let's.
Take a look at this, gang.
Sky, Casey Lund is live on Kapahulu this morning. That's where an SUV plowed into a popular running shoe store. What do we know about this incident, Casey?
Well, Steve, I can tell you that it could have been a lot worse, but 2 people were hurt. I want to show you where that car entered the running room. You can see the plywood boarding us up. And if you come around here, we'll show you the other side. They have done a pretty good job of cleaning up the store, but it was definitely a scary situation. Man. That vehicle ended up pretty far inside the store.
Look at that blue
sent
tape
racks
right
of
there. That'll
merchandise
keep
flying
people
towards
out.
employees inside.
Why does it look like he's
our crew was on the scene shortly after this happened. We spoke to a food vendor and another witness that saw this all happen.
Look how late it is. He's probably been there since, working since 5. Look at this here. Oh, man. Oh,
goodness.
He's coming so fast. He didn't hit the brakes at all.
This is my friend.
I literally
that's
just
your
jumped
friend?
backwards over my chair.
Listen to him.
He actually hit the table and went right through the glass over there.
I'm still kind of shaking. My mind's not really being real smooth with me right now. Well, it's a lot of shock that I'm feeling.
His mind is not being really smooth
I imagine
with him.
so. Scary situation. EMS is a man in his 60s and a woman in her 40s.
Look at this.
Were
And
taken
some
to the
people,
hospital
okay,
in
get
serious
caught, but
condition.
I like my
Original
shoes.
damage estimate was around
Those runners,
$15,000.
so
It
stuck
could go up a little bit more, but again, they have the store mostly cleaned up back out here. Live, we are trying to get an update on the condition of those 2 people, and the cause of this accident, or crash, I should say, excuse me, is still under investigation at this hour. Steve?
Yep.
Under investigation.
And you know what? I don't know how they avoided saying, and when the car went inside, it was running.
Well, then it deserves to be in there.
That's probably what it was. It was looking for some new tires.
Yeah. It is the running room, and the car is running.
Right. We were thinking about either Michelin, Pirelli, or Nike. know.
Because if he had parked and stopped the car, it would no longer be running.
We could go forever. I know Pepper's off camera going, you guys, please don't bring that to my comedy club.
Wait, so that's your friend that was almost got hit?
Chad Morisato. He's a painter, and he paints gas tanks for motorcycles, which is what he did for me. But he also is an artist who paints, art for homes and that kind of stuff. And he's done a couple things for me, but really a nice guy. And it's funny too, because when we first came up, I went, "What? I know this guy." You know what I mean? And suddenly I'm a little fanboy. Hey, I know him. I know him.
He almost died. That's my friend.
Look at this. The reporter seemed so apologetic for giving the story. Oh, I know. I think he was just up since 5, and if you noticed, it was dark, and then he's there going, okay, now I got to do, the old guy drives into the restaurant piece, right?
I guess, we have to guess right now because it's still under investigation, so they haven't given any information.
Well, what I'm hoping is that the driver wasn't having a medical condition or something. Right. I just, and you cross your fingers that the driver was just going, hey, what you expect? No more parking? God, funny. Add some handicap parking. So boom,
Or maybe he was looking for it in aisle 5. He was like, get parking in aisle 5.
He gets out of his car. So sorry, I thought this was a drive-through.
I think that deserves the salon pass of the week.
Can I have some Nikes and a 9.5, please? Okay. Well, when I go to that store next time, I've never been to that store. I've passed it a bunch of times. No, wait, I take that back. I actually went in there one time to look for a GoPro when they first came out because they were one of the few stores that had it back then.
I've only been next door when they used to have Soccer Locker because my daughter was a soccer player. So
Another great name, Running Room, Soccer Locker. I'll tell you what, talking about great names, our first guest, Pepper Lamb, owner-operator of Stand Up Honolulu, is our guest. So don't go away. We'll be right back after this. Okay, I'm like 10 seconds early.
I don't know how to say, wait.
Wait. Okay, let's do the freeze. And we're back, ladies and gentlemen. And I'll tell you what, if you like comedy, we have a special guest that is the prevaricator of such.
Wow.
Please help me welcome owner-operator of Stand Up Honolulu Comedy Club, Mr. Pepper Lamb. How's it, Pep?
Hey, aloha, guys. Appreciate you guys having me. Great show. Great setup. Y'all fancy over there.
Oh, man. Just like downtown, bro. Just like downtown.
Remind me of Liberty House, bro.
Ooh, sorry, So, Pepper, how long has the world-famous Stand Up Honolulu been in operation now?
We've been in operation since Memorial Weekend last summer. That was our first weekend that we kicked off with Graham Elwood. And we've been rolling ever since. It's been a lot of fun. It's been a lot of crazy weekends. Crazy on both ends of the weekend. So the business is solid. We're alive. We're still alive. We're getting excited for our 1-year anniversary and move forward and to see where the next year takes us. But we're happy. We're happy to bring comedy to the island.
How often are you open now? It's not every day, right?
No, we're open Thursday through Sunday. And on Thursday, we have open mic starting at 8:30. It's the 8:30 Dirty. And then on Friday and Saturday, we have feature shows. And then on Sundays, we have poetry.
Poetry?
Yes.
Wow. Is that are you still doing that thing? And, this is what I like about you, Pepper. You're always willing to say, oh, let's give that a try, right?
Yeah.
Were you doing like painting and wine days?
Yeah, we've had some paint and sip nights. Some of those they're a little up and down because of football season. We were trying to do them on Sundays, and so then like we found that kind of like once a month and seasonally they work a little better. But yeah, people just come through. They paint up a little deal, sip on some wine, hang out. Comics, crack jokes. It's an open space. So even when we don't have shows at night, we like to just fill the space with something that's going on, and we want to keep in the art realm. So that's why we do the.
Hey, Jeffrey Lee has a question here. Are they all local comedians, or do you fly folks in?
It is a mix of everyone. Hawaii is a destination place for every comedian. They all want to come here and perform. So as much as we can, we have those folks come through, and but we also like to showcase a lot of the local talent, get a good mix of everything, a little something for everybody up in there.
Name some of the traveling comics that have been through your club, which, by the way, I have to, speaking personally for me, what a fun little club. Just big enough, but still intimate. That's what I love. I like about Stand Up Honolulu. So who's come through your doors?
Well, we've had Kamaka Brown come through, and he was great. And we've also had Neil Brennan, who's a co-producer and writer on the Chappelle Show. We've had Bobby Lee. A lot of people remember him from Mad TV, and he's big in the podcasting world as well. We've had Nate Jackson from he plays Junkyard Dog on the Young Rock. So he's also from MTV Wildin' Out. So we've got heavy hitters flowing through, and you never know who the next star is going to pop in. We just had Greg Norman pop in a couple weeks ago. We sometimes we'll have comedians come in and they're already working other gigs, so we'll do a secret show. And
I remember I was there once, and someone who had a show at the Hawaii Theater was in your club the night before to just kind of break it loose.
So we can't always announce who we're having for those secret shows, but anytime you see that super secret squirrel pop up, you need to grab your tickets, because it's going to be somebody that you've seen on TV or Netflix or whatever, and you want to grab those tickets, because when you go see those guys in regular spots, it's going to be like 80 over $100, that kind of deal. But we do the affordable options.
Well, to Mua Tuine, right? Remember before his Neil Blaisdell show, right? He tried out the whole act there at Stand Up Honolulu.
I would recommend people follow you on Instagram. What is your Instagram handle for the club?
For the club, all our social media is Stand Up HNL. So just the initials of
HNL.
Because this is where he blasts, he puts up the squirrel, and that's when secret show. And a lot of comics that didn't take advantage of it. Was it Mark Norman that performed one time?
Norman?
Mark Norman, right?
Was Mark?
Norman, it was Mark Norman,
he performed, and a lot of comics missed out, and they're like, "Oh, I wish I knew."
I wish I knew.
No, you should have went. That's when you see it pop up on the social media, you should go and check it out.
But you know what? Again, what I like about any rural comedy club is you might see the big names, right? But you also can check out the open mic. Like here's Gooch Kawa saying, "Whoo, nice! I will definitely come to your open mic and try out my new material there."
Hey, there you go.
That's it right there. How a lot of the people who frequent this show, they're into family-friendly type of entertainment. Now, I know you called it's the 8:30 dirty, right? I mean, should they bring a helmet and protective gear for that show?
For that one, honestly, yes. I won't even lie to you. we do try and have at least once a month some type of family-friendly weekend with what comics I book there. Sundays are a little more family-friendly with the poetry. So you'll have it's technically a poetic open mic. So they do mostly poetry, but we will have comics come through. We'll have musical acts come through. People just doing readings, spoken word, all that kind of deal. Any type of live performing kind of deal. Our Sunday mic is a mixture of all that.
You know, I remember Kealoha when he was doing his poetry slams, right? When he first started, everyone, what are you, crazy? There were 10, 15 people, maybe if he was lucky. Pretty soon you couldn't get into the place, you know, and then as comics went afterwards.
Yeah, we that is our steadiest night. Sundays by far all year have been our steadiest night. Like we always have people just coming out and just want to just get a good vibe.
Well, I'll tell you what, thank you for bringing that good vibe to the Daily Pigeon. We're going to be right back with more of Pepper Lamb, and we're going to talk about what it's like dealing with a bunch of comics for a living. OMG. Don't go away. We'll be right back. And we are back. Thank you for rejoining the Daily Pigeon. We have a special guest, and when we finished the last segment, I said, we're going to talk about what it's like making your living working with comedians. That's right. And that's hard to avoid when you are the owner-operator of Stand Up Honolulu right here in beautiful Kaka'ako. Please help me re-welcome Pepper Lamb. How's it, Pep?
Going all right. Doing all right. Thanks for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome. You know, before I forget, what is that like working with stand-ups?
It is it's like working with my 1-year-old. Honestly, it is it's a whole lot of repeating yourself. It's a whole lot of correcting behavior, and it's honestly like it's fun because you know I've been a comedian for over 10 years, so I understand what it's like to you know want to make it in the game. But I also find myself in uncle mode a lot. Just trying to hit people to the business, and as they're early in their career, they have to realize that there's business aspects to handle, and it's not all fun and games and drinking and hanging out to try and get chicks after shows. So
you know,
it's a lot of parenting.
It's not.
Any diaper changing.
Any diaper changing. Well, you know what, Pep, and I don't think what a lot of the new comics realize is that it's show business, and business is the bigger word.
Yeah.
You know,
Yes.
Especially when guys like you have it all on the line in this club and rent and insurance and electricity bills and all that stuff. You know, do you ever have to turn to some of these comics and say, you know, you don't have to be funny all the time?
But mostly I have to tell them to be serious. Just like, hey, be serious about being funny. Wow. So you have guys that are just like, oh, you know, they'll get stage time at other places and expect that, you know, there's some sort of entitlement or they should just get stage time anywhere. And it's just, no, it doesn't work like that. And two, that, I mean, outside of you and James and myself and like 3 other people on the island, this is a hobby. For us, this is business. This is work. This is, you know, our livelihood. For everybody else, this is your hobby. So take your hobby as serious as you want, but I don't think any of us go into our other hobbies and have like expectations of being the greatest ever of whatever the hobby may be. But you still have to understand that it's a hobby. It's not your hobby doesn't entitle you to anything. So it bothers me sometimes because I just want to just be a comic and have fun and just handle the business aspect of things. But like you said, when you have, you know, your name on the line, you know, you got bills to pay, you got to keep the place open and whatnot, and you got to make the people happy. Yeah.
Hey, Pepper.
People happy. You got to,
You know, passing this knowledge on, you know, I mean, we talked a while ago about you doing a comedy school. right?
Yep.
Teaching stand-up comedy.
Yep.
Where's that at?
That happens with us on Thursdays now.
Wow.
I developed a 6-week course with a couple of buddies of mine did teach as well, and it's just a kind of a beginner into comedy course, but it also kind of focuses on joke structure and how to write and develop your act. So it's one of those things where comics of varying different levels have participated, and it's new. We just started it at the first of the year. So we've got our first graduating class coming up, and then we'll run another 6 weeks after that, and so it'll continue throughout the year. But it's something that that I felt was important because I don't want to have to keep flying people in to do shows. I would like to mix more of our local scene in there and have everybody step their game up. Like it's even helped me step my game up. I've got a new 15 just from doing the class.
Well, Kay Jackson, when she was here, right? She saw some of the open mic nights throughout the islands, and she said, "Listen, I hate to admit it, but some of these guys don't understand basic joke structure."
Exactly.
They're throwing it out there. They don't understand the difference between a statement and a punchline and just the basics. And that's what you're teaching?
Yes, that's what we're focused on. I do one class on the comedy business. I do another one on like the history of comedy, but the most of the 6-week course is focused on writing and development of premises and joke structure.
Yeah.
Wow. Where can people get information on availability of the class, cost, that sort of thing?
They are all on the website, all under standuphonolulu.com. We have a tab on there that says comedy classes, and the next section of the class will be announced within a week. And I like to do it at a 6-week time frame, and then have some of those people perform on a Thursday and like a fresh faces kind of show, get their chops wet off of the deal. So the goal is just to get people used to writing and developing, and to try and get like a 5-minute bit going.
Well, you know what? I taught a comedy class once, and the hardest part was finding a stage where people could try out what they're working on. But you have that built in.
I got it all built in. Yeah. Yep.
That's great stuff.
Yeah. And that's why we also have it on Thursdays, because right at the class at 7, and then as we wrap up, it's open mic time at 8:30. So
and they
if you
just
want to
jump
work
right
on, if you want to work on what we've been working on, here you go.
Yeah, it's funny. Like a lot of people don't know the simple things. Like, and it's something you had said to me when I first started out, was to move the mic stand out of the way if you're not using it. And it's something that little.
Small. And another one, and this was my first tip to Augie Tolba, look toward the back of the room. Don't just pick somebody in the front and do the whole show, down to their feet, how to move and include people, and move smoothly. Yeah. But, one of the dangers, of course, and I think it was, I can't remember the person who said it, but he said, dissecting comedy is like dissecting a frog. You find out how it works, but it kills the thing. So I remind people, if you're going to go to school, it probably won't be funny. We'll be right back with more of Pepper Lamb after this. We are back, ladies and gentlemen. What an interesting conversation dissecting comedy. And according to our guest, Pepper Lamb from Stand Up Honolulu, you can teach it, and he, in fact, is. Please help me welcome one more time, Mr. Pepper Lamb. Hi, Pep. Hey, here's a question I get asked a lot. In fact, Michael Seo right here asked it in the chat. He says, what do you do to calm your nerves before every show?
My first answer is just do more shows. The best way to feel comfortable on stage is to get on stage. It's just like riding a bike and walking. Like sometimes, we trip up and, get a little goofy, a little loosey leg, got a cramp or whatever. But the more you do it, the better at it you get. I used to have a couple of shots, but as they get older now, I can't
You can't
dock
do
that.
it.
Yeah, can't
And
do
it,
that. So,
in the long run, it doesn't help. In the long
yeah,
run, it
at
doesn't help.
all. Yeah.
I tell people, I said, you know what? If you're not a little nervous before your show, you're not taking it serious.
Yeah.
Muhammad Ali used to say before his fights, he could almost throw up. He was so nervous, but he couldn't show it because he had to do it because he was on stage.
Yep.
Here's a question. It's another question we get asked a lot as comics. Do you continue being funny, the comedian, in your home life, or do you take a break? Yeah, I'm sure your wife really thinks you're funny.
Well, I was born a trash talker. So I wake up talking trash. I go to sleep talking trash. I do want to stay married, so I've learned to temper it. But I at least get 3 shots off a day. It's just, and the rest of it, I just kind of internalize, or I keep my pen and pad and use it for material later. So
Do you find that you have over the years developed a muscle memory when it comes to coming up with punchlines? Because in your show, I've seen you walk up there and hand out pieces of paper and say, "Give me some subjects," and you just
yeah.
go for it.
Yeah, I've even before comedy, I'm just kind of a knowledge nerd. So I like to learn about different cultures and different things all the way around. So whenever I am doing crowd work and somebody tosses out something random, I'll have like a little weird factoid about it. I just that's just my personality. But yeah, at home, like I said, I try to spare the wife a little bit. The kids don't get spared, especially my daughters, because they're like 11 and 13 now. So they get the full gambit of me talking trash and making stuff up and being dad jokes. But my dad jokes, they'll be like, "Whoa, that was too dark." And I'll just be like, "Yeah, well, you got to grow up sometime."
I own a comedy club. What do you want?
Yeah, exactly.
If you had anything different to do with your comedy club, because you've been around for a while, I know with the decor, with the sound, with the timing, is anything that you wish that you had done differently?
For the initial run, no. I'm very happy with our test out. We were lucky enough to find a business that was closing, and they just had a year left on their lease. So we were able to take it over. So that way we go ahead and make all the mistakes in this year one, and then see what we need to build from there. There's a couple of just nitpicky, maybe aesthetic things that I would have done. I would have put up the LED lights already, or just a couple of things like that. But for the most part, I'm very happy with how we kicked off, because when you're running a mom and pop organization, and especially now when you talk to businesses and they have problems hiring staff and all that kind of deal, I'm glad we kept it small, and we can most nights we can handle it, and when things get really busy, I can call in friends for help and that kind of deal.
Wow.
Yeah.
In the club there, right? How many people, when you first started thinking about it, said, "Are you nuts?"
Everybody, I would say, but maybe 10 of my closest core. Actually, I'll add 20, because I got a strong support system from my family. Yeah. They know the type of work that we put in. So I would say from an outside realm, I probably had maybe 10 believers.
Wow.
And definitely my business partner was definitely in, because this isn't the first time we've tried to do this. We had something that kind of went up and flailed during the pandemic, but who knew that there was going to be a global pandemic? but we learned so many lessons from it that I know a lot of people. A lot of people were just like, "Oh, you're going to try this again?" Yeah, we're going to try this again, because we know that there's a need for it. We know the community needs to laugh, and Honolulu does not have a dedicated space for comedy, so there's a void in the market. You can go to, little open mics or bar shows, or you can go to the Blue
pop-up
Note.
shows, right?
Yeah, the pop-up shows, or you can go to like the Blue Note or the Blaisdell and spend an arm and a leg. So we knew that there was a middle ground in there that that can fill a void in the market. So so we were always confident that eventually it was going to work out.
Did you do much research beforehand?
Yeah, like I said, I've been doing comedy for 10 years, and probably 8 of them I've been running shows myself. A lot of those pop-up shows. So I was real familiar with Hawaii's market, and seeing, like, I've tried to do some bigger shows where we were bringing out comics and once a month kind of deal, and then I've done weekly shows at little bars in Chinatown and whatnot. So there was a lot of hands-on learning, and a lot of grind into it. So like, people think these things just kind of pop up, but they don't.
There's a lot of work that goes into it. In fact, when I was working your club, how many people came up and said, in today's climate, it's so nice to have some place you can come and just get a few laughs and get away from it all.
Yep.
Man.
Yep.
Okay, so James, did you were you going to say something?
No, I was telling you the time.
Oh, the time. Oh, yes, we have, wait, hold on here, Peplum. I'm looking at the clock. We have 25 seconds left in our careers.
Oh.
So,
I hope
just
we
like
make
to
it.
thank you for being a part as we wring the last few drops out of the washcloth that is my career. We'll be right back with Pepper Lamb, owner-operator of Stand Up Honolulu, when we return. This is good stuff, man. And we are back. Ladies and gentlemen, my name's Andy Bumatai.
And I'm James Money.
And our special guest is Pepper Lamb. And he has the Stand Up Honolulu. Oh, and I got to do it again. World famous Stand Up Honolulu. And if you don't believe me, there's a sign over the stage that says that. Who can argue with that? Please help me welcome once again Mr. Pepper Lamb. Hey, Pep.
Yay. Thanks for the world famous. We really are. We have people from everywhere.
Oh, man, those the emails I got from Swahili people when I performed there. I went, oh, man, first Istanbul and now Swahili. My translator was going nuts. Speaking of world famous, what type of shows do you have coming up?
Oh, well, we've got James Mane is going to do some little birthday love up there. So if you want to know how old James is, you have to look up. I think he's on Google. With your fame of when your famous birthdays. Yeah. You should be on there. Yeah. I know Graham Elwood is coming back into town. And he just did his special for All Things Funny.
All Things Comedy.
Yeah. And we also have Eddie Ift coming this summer. He's a regular for he used to be a regular up at for the Pipeline Classic, and he used to perform up in Turtle Bay all the time. He's big into the surf culture, so we're gonna have him at the club. I've got calls into all types of people. We're trying to work out something with Bobby Lee, but his tour just kicked off like hugely. So he's probably not going to be back around until like the end of the summer. He's on tour with Theo Von, and they're working on some stuff. I've got calls in and people coming from all over the place. So we're just trying to keep the shows going and make sure there's entertainment. Like I said, the well mix. Trying to work out something for Mother's Day for the ladies as well. And I always do a Father's Day show as well with a lot of the funny fathers who are on island. So,
hey, look here. Here's Justine, my friend Justine. She'll be a guest this Friday.
Oh, nice.
Talking about women and starting businesses and empowerment and money management. Nanakuli girl, right there.
Nice.
Yes.
Nice. We're partially woman-owned. My business partner Christine there, so we covered a minority in the female-owned gambit for the deal. Wow.
The one thing I like about Pepper's place, Stand Up Honolulu, is that he understands the way a comedy club should be shaped, where the low ceilings, the seats, everybody's facing forward, but also he has a full bar tucked away in the corner behind, in another room.
Oh, instead of the blender right next to the stage.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also you hear somebody, can I get
or that club where the bartender says, "Okay, before I start making your margarita, let me get to the punchline, and now."
Yeah.
So that's why it's good.
Yeah, we avoid all that.
And it's a stand-up comedian that owns the stand-up comedy club, and they know what needs to be part of it.
And I tell you what, most people don't understand that as simple as an art as it is, my joke, Pepper, is, all I need is a light and a microphone, and you'd be surprised at how often 50% of my requirements don't show up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mine was like that last night. I was like, oh, thank you.
What sort of feedback do you get from the audience, Pepper, when you do your shows?
Most of the time, people come around the corner and they're surprised, because I'll be the first one to tell you, from the outside, aesthetically, it's like, okay, where are we? There's a vape shop, there's a sake shop, there's a plumbing supply store. What? Okay, y'all sure there's a comedy club in this plaza? And then you go in, and I've got it blocked off perfectly for a reason, so that you don't disturb the show when you come in and do your ticket deal.
Yeah.
So I've got everything blocked off. So you come in, you work with Christine to get your ticket set, and then you peer around the corner, and you're like, oh, this is nice. There's lighting, the walls are padded. There's nice paintings. I've got local artist paintings on there that you can actually purchase with some local performer, local artists that actually do the artwork and that kind of deal. And you just come when you peer around that corner, you're like, okay, this is not sketchy. So that was my whole focus, was to make people feel comfortable. And I worked in bars for 20 years, so I know rule number one is when the ladies are happy, then the crowds will come. Because if the ladies aren't happy and they feel like this place is sketchy, they're not coming back to that place for date night, for nothing else. So.
But your insight as a comic, that whole walking in and not disturbing. I can't tell you how many comedy clubs I've played where the front door is right here to the right.
Yeah.
And somebody comes in, first thing they do is, and then boom, they distract everybody's attention.
Or sometimes it's you're standing up on stage performing, and people are walking towards you to get to the bathroom right next to the stage. It's like, what's happening?
Yeah, that was that when I designed, when I started sketching out the space, because we've looked at a lot of spaces, and when I started sketching things out, I started thinking about everything that I hate when I perform, and try to avoid that as much as possible.
Well, one thing good too is you also offer a reward incentive for return business. Like when the people come to your club, you give them a drink ticket, right?
Yep. You get a first laugh is on us, as we call it. And I like to, it's good for beer, wine, or non-alcoholic. I like to, if you're doing a full feature show, I like the people to come in and be like, hey, I've received something before the show even started. Wow. So most of the time you get a ticket and you just go there like, yep, there's your seat, go sit down. But, for us, I wanted to, wet the whistle a little bit, have people come through and be like, oh, okay, all right. Even if they don't drink all night or whatnot, because I don't want that establishment either. Like I said, I worked in bars for 20 years and I'm not trying to be, 2 a.m. Late night kind of. I'm like, look, you come through, you have 1 or 2 drinks, and we're good.
Yeah. Well, and from the comic standpoint, remember that night I was there when there was that guy about third row, and this guy had 3 sheets to the wind, and suddenly we're like, pal, what's it like being the poster child for AA? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Chill, my brother, chill.
Yeah.
So you know what? we're going to come back for our last segment, and it'll only be 6 minutes and 30 seconds, so it's going to fly by because these segments have. We'll be right back with Pepper Lamb after this. Thank you so much for rejoining the Daily Pigeon. My name is Andy Bumatai.
And I'm James Money.
And if anyone watching on television would like to join us on the live podcast that we edit this show from, it's 3 p.m. Hawaii Standard Time, 5 days a week, weekdays, I guess, weekdays on any number of the social media platforms. And if you're on television and would like to send us an email, please. This is the email, info@bumatai.com. Okay. And if you have any questions about Stand Up Honolulu, our guest, owner, operator, Pepper Lamb, send it to him.
Yeah. Standuphonolulu.com. Just send us any question you have, the life, marriage stuff. I'll answer all your emails.
The thing I like about this place, like, it's called a comedy club, but for comedians, like me and Graham would go there to hang out. Like, it was more like our club, like a clubhouse club.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It just, and Pep, when people come there, right, what is the number one suggestion that you have for those considering joining the comics at Stand Up Honolulu?
To go online early and purchase your tickets. Not only do you save a little money by going online and purchasing tickets, it also gives you a chance to reserve the better seats there. Our general seating is just that. They're just general chairs and the open floor. But we don't have food. But if you reserve a table, you can bring in your own outside food into the place.
Wow.
And if you reserve early enough, then we can move those tables up towards to get you the better seating in the deal. We also have a VIP section for those, if you have, it seats 8. They're very nice plush couches. They come with a bottle of champagne or wine. We also have a couple of high tops, that kind of deal. So if it's a group or if it's just date night or, you just want to ball out and just be like, yeah, we need the VIP. We got a little thing for everybody there.
And you still get the drink ticket as an incentive to come back?
Yep. Yes. Once you tag us on social media, Stand Up HNL, and the next time you come, you get an extra drink token. So.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. And, for those of you who may have missed the segment where Pepper was talking about he is teaching Stand Up Honolulu. He has an open mic night on Thursdays at 8:30. You are doing everything you can to promote stand-up comedy.
Yeah, a little something for everybody because it's it's my favorite art form, and like I said, there's a void in the market for it. So we're trying to fill that void and hit as many pukas as possible to get some laughter in the community. So if you want to try your hand at stand-up, you can take a class or just show up to open mic. If you want to try your hand at poetry, you can check us out on Sundays. Or sing a song, whatever. We've got something for everybody.
The other thing I like about your spot is the lineup. Like you go to some places, it might be like 10 comics or 5 comics doing 20 minutes each. You actually do what they do in the big cities, where you have an opener, a middle, and then a headliner, or it's a showcase, but it's not a show where you feel like, I gotta spend 3 hours in this place. It's like
we give you a solid hour and a half, hour 45 of entertainment, and because as we grow, we want to be able to put on late night shows as well. So we should be able to double it up. We were getting to that point, and then the whole sinkhole deal happened, but we're growing back to that point, and hopefully by this summer, you can catch an 8 o'clock show or a 10 p.m. show for the late night crowd.
What are you talking about, the sinkhole thing?
The intersection where the construction was. Yeah.
There was a car fell in there or something, and they had to.
By the time they were done with it, it was huge. It was big enough to put a semi in that thing, but they got it all patched in and filled in, and Kaka'ako's they're building a lot of high rises down there and more stuff. So
to get there, you're going down Kapi'olani. You take a right turn on Cook Street. You head up like 2 or 3 blocks or something, and then you're on the left side. And he has a big sign out there that says comedy, right, out there. And if you can't come early, and you might find parking in that little area right in front of the club. But if not, there's street parking and also a full-on Halikawila all the way down Halikawila Street. There's a big paid parking place. You know, so it's you might have to walk a little bit, but that's okay. You know.
Yeah. If you're going to Chinatown, you're going to have to walk a lot. So,
Well, those of us with the Apple Watches are going, oh, great, I'll work on my rings.
Well, also at the park in Chinatown, you got to walk over people who are sleeping on the sidewalk.
Yes.
This is a lot better.
Yes.
Here, Namaste Zen says, how long is the line for open mic? If I get there an hour early, will I get a chance?
Oh yeah, the doors open for it right at 8:30. So, and we normally have anywhere from 10 to 15 performers on the deal. So, you can also sign up online for that early as well.
Cool.
So,
That sounds good. That sounds good.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, this has been a great interview, and to have someone who actually owns a club and performs stand-up and teaches it, it doesn't get much better than that for comedy aficionados like we are. Thank you so much for being here.
Appreciate you guys having me. Everyone check us out at the world famous Stand Up Honolulu, standuphonolulu.com. Thank you guys for having me.
Thanks for watching.